Down there.
Yeah.
He'll probably be here tonight. Oh, hold on. He might be. He has a place in Monterey, and he's a place in Farrell. And so I'm not sure where he's in Monterey.
You see where it's a half gallon little thing like that? Down like that. And you put it.
Look at one right here. Everybody calls me Long, but my name is John Guest.
And you've been living up on Bragg Hill now for how long?
Let me see. 40 years.
40 years.
Well, up on Bragg Hill, I lived for years before that. I lived up in 71. We moved up to McClary's place up there, close enough. Yeah.
So that's about a mile down the road here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then actually, see, we built the press. Why it's called Deer Run Press is Robbie McClary's house, which used to be Tuss and Mimi's house, the grandparents. That place is called Deer Run, and we built the original press was built in that barn, and then I don't know, maybe 10 years later we moved it to this barn. So it's still Deer Run Press. Yeah.
And you think now it's been going more than 40 years?
42 years.
40?
So we must have run, yeah. So that's right. So we started 2 years before we bought this house, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always sounded like a wonderful community event for your neighbors and you. And it's just always, I think, something pretty special that...
Yeah. Here, let me tell you, so here's how it started. I met Day, although Day grew up in Norwich and I grew up in Hanover. We both went to Hanover High School. I didn't know her there at all, and I met her in Alta, Utah, and we really fell in love. And when we came back here, I had this. We always use Ogden Cider Press in Heartland all the time. Bring apples down there,
didn't
sell
we
at
all?
football games, and so I was a big fan of cider. And so I decided, Day and I went down to we probably went to 10 different presses, and I took, I was kind of in my engineering mode, and I took down notes of all the characteristics of the press, how many PSI there were in the press, how many RPMs there were in the grinder, all kinds of things. I recorded everything. And when I compared them all, I realized there was just a wide swath of design you could do it. So I designed the whole thing, actually. I mean, every bit of this is designed. And they were mostly from commercially built presses. But so the main other guy with me was a guy named David Norton. And he and I
know David.
Yeah, you know David. We built
Sure.
most of the press. But then the rest of the Close Enough gang, which is Buffalo and Red Taplin and Tim Beck, they also helped a lot. And we were both, at the first year we built it in 76, I was working at a job up on top of Reeser's Hill. Norton and I were building a 12-side cabin, and the rest of them were building Candy Natty's house. And so we'd take scrap lumber and use it for various components of the press. And I ran this guy named Will Browning. His father was an engineer, and he helped us weld the frame.
This is Browning from Lebanon?
Yeah. He helped us weld this frame here together.
Yeah.
So, see, the way that, I mean, I can explain how the press works, too.
Sure.
Have you seen the press before?
I've seen it only from afar.
Yeah. Well, see, the deal is that there's a big chunk of steel that goes around the circle here, and then the rails, the cider, this is where the tray that catches the cider. But the deal is that this press here, presses, when you slide this tray over here, it squeezes the cider from the top and the bottom because it's all contained by this steel ring there. And so it's 20 tons, so it's a lot of pressure on that thing. But essentially,
Dave, how are you?
That grinder was actually, here's a piece of it right here. I don't know if you, this is a chunk we didn't use, but what I did, these are maples that are actually from the land right out here, and everything in the press was sawed by June Thompson, who had a sawmill right over here. And these are pieces of maple that we sandwiched together and glued together, and then put it on a lathe and ground it around, and then we cut lines into it and put angle iron into it, and that's what the grinder's made out of.
Wow.
So, and that's
That's your design.
Yeah, well, actually, it's the one thing that we saw a lot of grinders, but most of them were kind of a commercial type grinder you buy.
Yeah.
So it was similar to a lot of grinders, certainly. As a matter of fact, the interesting story is when we pretty much realized that all this was going to work, except for the grinder. We didn't know the grinder was going to work or not. And the first time we ran it, big chunks of apple came out of the grinder, and so we went, oh. So we took the whole thing apart and we took it apart, we ground all angled iron down so it was only sticking about that far off of the surface of the grinder.
Yeah.
And then next time we ran it, it came out like mush, and it was just perfect.
Perfect,
So it was like
yeah.
a Yahoo moment, you know?
Who was involved in that first episode?
Well, what do you mean the first time?
When you were working on the grinder?
Oh, there were a bunch of us. There were a lot of our friends, and it was all a Close Enough gang and our friends mostly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What was the gang's name again?
Close Enough? It was on McClarry's land.
Okay.
It was where, and it was,
because you're super
well, we met Tim Beck. We know Tim Beck.
Yep.
We met him here. We had a high school friend of ours.
Uh-huh.
And then the rest of the guys were guys we met in Middlebury. And there were
Okay,
five
sure.
of us. There were
Yeah.
5 of us.
Yeah.
We got together.
Once.
So I was going to ask you, how about, you picked all the apples you want for your house? so
Yeah,
far?
we got 4 apples, trees left, so we can go up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then Robbie's and.
I was thinking we'd start on Robbie's.
Okay.
And then, boy, today, they're falling off of there fast, you know?
Everything, it's
Yeah,
barely.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, so the lot of Robbie's. I looked also down at Jim and Bill's.
Yeah, I was thinking we go Robbie's and then Jim Bill's. And then if we need any more, we'd go up to your house.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's one tree at Jim and Bill's, and I thought, oh, this.
You know, the thing with that one tree, if you have, that has so many apples in it that dominates the taste of the,
Oh,
cider.
yeah, well, you're right.
And it's not great. It's,
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
great either, but it's
No,
all
but
right.
The thing we need are some of those bitter apples to make it a little more bitter.
Well, you know that's a little bit on the bitter. That might be a good treat for.
Because
Because
the problem
they're
with mine
awful
is
sweet.
they're all eating apples and
Yeah.
they're pretty sweet.
The last
Isn't that
time it was
usually
almost
the
tacky
opposite?
sweet, wasn't it?
Is that usually the
But
opposite
but
problem?
people
trying to find
loved it.
Sweet apples and
Oh, yeah. Oh, everybody loved it.
Oh, they loved it.
You know, I brought. I
It's
bought.
really nice to have a mix.
I bought case 2 days in a row at Dan and Witt's, and
They were gone
They
like
were
that.
gone as soon as I.
See, that list
said
would
it.
work.
I know. I think
Oh,
you
is
did.
that? Yeah, I saw
You saw I did it too, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did?
I
You
don't
both
read
did
the
it.
listserv
Yeah.
because it's too
Well,
long.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't either very much.
you could
I
sell.
put one too.
If you just tell people it's local, they'll make an extra effort to
Yeah.
gobble it up.
Yep.
You know, it didn't. I posted. You posted one day on listserv, and I did the very next day actually. And but it seemed like it moved slow at first. Actually, I think it's. But
Oh, as soon as they taste it,
Yeah.
as soon as the people taste it.
yeah.
Actually, what maybe we should do is go down in front of Dan Witt's, which is a thing, and do a little tasting.
Well, people don't know it, but when you go through the green door at Dana Witt's, there's not the green door, but the first place going back to the meat counter there. There's always any stuff there. People is welcome to taste anything. There's donuts and all that stuff.
No,
They just-
no,
they just-
I don't- they do
and
all
there's
know.
always
I always assumed that was just for the people who work there.
That's for anybody.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Wow.
I see it all the time.
my
yeah.
cider. My cider is. We've had cider there. The thing about that is the cider sits there and it's warm all day, and that stuff goes with.
No. See, I think what we have to do is have somewhere earlier in the time, have it so we have.
I gave it to some people and they were like, yeah, I had it for like 3 days and then it got fizzy, so I threw it out. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on. They don't know.
I drink it, I wait till it gets busy.
But they never had cider before they got fizzy.
I like it,
You know,
fizzy.
it's, pasteurized.
Control your own there.
They just don't
Yeah.
know, you know?
It has a good taste, man, I love the little zip it has.
So where's the tart tree? Well, where are you gonna get tart at?
Well, Nord probably brings some. He always brings some.
He was thinking
There's some already upstairs.
The Noble, you said that was kind of
Yeah,
tart.
I think
There's some
Let's
upstairs
get a
already.
few of those. We don't have to get all of them.
Yeah. We'll go to Robbie's first. Oh, I can get some
But
tart.
now, but you said
Why
that
don't you introduce
Jim
yourself?
Hills is.
His
My name's
name?
Reed Williams,
Oh.
and I'm a neighbor actually.
Neighbor of who?
The guests right here,
Okay.
and the guests are the ones that have, a long time ago, they started the cider press,
Uh-huh.
and actually, I think that they're probably the people best that know the whole history of what went on.
Uh-huh.
But we've been doing it for some time, and they've been doing it for a very long time. And as a community, we get together. And here's actually one that for some time has done
How you doing, Reeve?
very well, very well.
Why don't you join right in there? Well, I'll get a picture of
On this side,
you both. It doesn't matter. Just where you feel most comfortable. What is your name?
Philip.
Philip, what's your last
Henry.
name? Henry?
Yes.
And have you been doing this for a long time?
Oh, only about 40 years.
40 years. So, wow, that's it's pretty spectacular.
Maybe you could tell them a little bit about
how it started.
Yeah, it used to be over at Rob McLaury at the Deer Run Farm,
Which is up a little bit
McLaury's.
on Bragg Hill.
just a road, a mile or two.
Yeah, mile
Uh-huh.
two, yeah.
So you've been doing this roughly, you think, about 40 years.
I can't remember when they started, but it was when Long and Day began.
Yeah.
They built the press,
Yeah, it is pretty spectacular when I look at it
and
from
we
just
used
here.
to be able to drive in. You could drive to the top of the barn
Uh-huh.
at Rob's house.
Really?
Yeah, and then you didn't have to lift the apples upstairs.
But now the young people, and they haul them up there, and the young people push it down, and so,
Yeah, it works fine.
yeah.
So here we are on Bragg Hill
Bragg Hill, right?
in Norwich, Vermont. This community event is really mainly friends of Long's.
It's of longs and days.
It's the
and,
neighbors mostly.
Most of the neighbors up and down the. Yep, and then a number of the other people that get to know, the things they come in, but they get invited, and Phil brings in people, and we all bring in people. But they do a lot. About normally we do about 70 gallons of press, about 70 gallons of cider each press.
That's a lot of cider.
Last time, I guess it went
120
to
or so.
120 gallons.
120 gallons.
Because this year there's a lot of apples. So.
That's pretty spectacular. And where do you get the apples?
They're from Bragg Hill and up. This whole they're back up and down. People have apples along the route, and they're
Who does the running around getting the apples?
We all do.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, Phil. Anybody has a truck that goes down, does it? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go check in with Long and Day.
All right, go check him Long and maybe bring him up here. Bring him down here because he'd like to, or maybe
Well,
hey, Chad,
help me
maybe you
down.
should go up with him.
I will eventually. I'll go.
Okay, good.
So there's Day and Long's house
That's right.
up there, and then we'll be. I might as well walk
You
out.
walk up with him.
Well, and I'll walk out. I want to get a picture of the barn itself.
All right. Okay.
It's interesting because they have a big
Oh, I see, yeah, the last
kids from California. Back then, the California board in the area.
You don't walk the trail that goes over there. You may have chased our dog away.
You're not the only one.
It was a very gentle young dog.
You're not the only one.
Did you ski out there?
Yeah,
as much as I could.
Yes.
You turn around, turn my
I always like labor. There we.
Sign on the No, leave that one on. That's okay. Get it down so it's
Yeah,
it's right over.
yeah, sure. Yeah,
fixed on all.
yeah,
Go up that hill. We're
yeah,
right there.
yeah. Oh, you're good at that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A
Nice,
little
yeah,
lower on
yeah.
that, I think right now doing it.
How long you been there? How long you been
Yeah,
there?
we'll get it so it's straight.
Yeah, nice.
Been up here since.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, a little bit over, yeah, that was a little over, but that's all right, that's okay.
Yeah, Dunk was a.
All right, now just
Good
try
friend
to
of ours.
get it the same as this one right here.
We live in a house that Quit thinks she should. Quit was banded with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not alone.
No, we just moved here. 2 years ago.
Okay.
And there were two.
Really very good.
Cheese.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, you got this.
Let's go. Let's saddle up and go to Robbie's, huh?
I got room in my truck.
All right, go take two.
Now the educational program is stopped. Away from the campus, so there's a sidewalk.
You want to go down? You want to use their collecting up there?
Some amount of business.
You want to be doing this? Okay, you don't want your dad.
That's my milk bridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Going up to get apples now. Huh?
Yep. Yeah, we go see. Oops. We've been doing so long that everybody. There's a lot of little apple orchards on Bragg Hill.
Yeah.
And everybody knows us, so that we've been. Everybody, we go to all these various houses to collect apples, and they'll call us up and say, "How come you didn't collect our apples this year?"
Just
howdy.
Hi, Long.
We're going to Robbie's house to collect some apples.
How are ya?
Robbie's house? No, Robbie's old house.
Robbie's old house. Is there any apples there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Come down.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We gotta go.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Where do you want us to meet you over there?
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
we're there.
And there might be room on one of these trucks if you want to ride in them too. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Or you take your car. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll do whatever.
All right.
Okay.
They
Well,
used
it used to be. See, we're the only place in press in Norwich for a long time, actually. But it used to be. Brigham's used to have a press there.
remember that.
But I've been pressing cider for a long time. We used to, in high school, we'd go down to Ogden's as kids, and we pressed a bunch of cider.
We did too when we first got up here.
Yeah. And we.
Herb was he was a wonderful act
He was.
in so many ways.
He was. And the first thing you noticed, of course, he noticed that he was a Goldwater.
Yeah.
But he, the thing that impressed me was the wild cider that was more bitter or more tart was 65 cents. And, sweet cider was 55 cents. No, the other way around. Yeah, that's right.
Figure
It was
that
the
out.
tart stuff was more expensive.
Yeah. I used to love going there just to listen to him.
Yeah.
I knew his sister very well.
No, sister was a real. She was super liberal.
Unusual, yeah.
Yeah.
But
she
he was interesting too. I mean, environmentally, he was a pretty sound fellow.
Yeah.
He wasn't. His politics were a big mix of. There can't be too many apples. Oh, look at all the apples there. Fun to do.
But you know what? It's the press is fun, and there's later on night, especially the last press like this, everybody will get clustered in the barn, and the body will warm the place up. It's just there'll be a lot of people here.
Although, given that you've been doing it for 40 odd years, it must have been a lot colder back in the beginning, doing it at this late.
Well, this year's unusually warm. Yeah.
Unbelievably warm.
But this actually is the latest we've ever. It's the latest day we've ever pressed.
Really?
Usually Halloween is the last press. We press from Labor Day to Halloween. And Labor Day, we've been not doing it for 2 weeks after Labor Day because the apples are quite ready usually.
Yeah. I tend to, I don't know why exactly. I have some trees where they are wonderful apples, but I lose them early.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. Some of the.
They just ripen so early. I haven't been able to figure out. I've got to get somebody to. I planted them all. I planted all the apple trees.
Oh yeah, so they're probably in great shape.
But well, it could be better.
You want to fill these buckets, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. See, this place worries me because we had electric fence around our whole orchard to keep the deer out. But if there's deer and stuff, there's no really want it. Is there? I don't know. I think there's always deer. Let's try tarp and we'll shake it once. Then if we want, we can take tarp off the alternative. Finger in the right spot here. Where is it? The deal is you take one tarp and put on either side of the tree.
Yeah.
Pretty grubby. That's it.
I think the deer have been here.
Is there anything wrong with this tree here?
So I missed kind of what.
Those look pretty good to me, but
Anything wrong with this tree?
These apples okay here?
Yeah, if you just don't pick any near deer poop or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
I won't put any poop in.
And if they got a little mud on them, just wipe the mud off, I guess, right?
Yeah.
One had some mud.
Some of these are pretty damn good, Long. Well, some of them.
yeah.
Alright.
Should have brought my big shoes. They can...
Hey, how are you?
Right there.
I thought with the trees go there, they would have all the.
I just don't see him. It's there.
Good job.
Brooks! Come on, yeah, Brooks! Come on. I got some big juicy ones. You brought some.
You can be pretty selective. Don't bring your rotten ones, okay?
Brooks, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, I don't know. Since 1973. I don't know. Since
73?
Whenever it first started, whenever the first year it was.
Wow.
Right out here. I haven't made it every year, every press, but you know, I do what I can.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Hey, you know, you guys, the apples are kind of nestled down in the grass. Don't bother with those. Just get the ones that are sitting on the surface.
We don't want that. We want the top heavies.
And we don't really want dirt.
That dirt. Stay away from the dirt. Dirt tastes good. Depends on what kind of dirt it is, John. Is that your dirt, my ditch?
You know, I have a method now, Brooks, when I mow the.
Can you grab this carpet over on this side and pull it over? Yeah, that's what you want. I think that's pretty good. All right, shake it. One in the bucket. One in the bucket. I think we just set up 300 buckets. You don't want to stand under the tree when it's
I'll be like that deer that got his head stuck in the pumpkin.
Yeah.
The thing, you know, like. Nothing going there, no.
Why are they so late?
I don't know.
Mine are all.
We still got apples in our tree. It's doing
Mine are
really
all,
well.
I've got the only ones I have are the russets, Roxbury russets. That's the only ones left, and all mine left early.
Hold on back.
These look. How is that? Is that good?
All snuggy up. All snuggy. I found my apple this year had a lot of thick skin this year. Early in the year, you take a bite and chew it on, and then you get a lot of spit.
I have some that does have a thick. It's almost like sandpaper.
Yeah.
But that's all.
The
every year.
juice was good. We still had a lot of times out. Not bad. You know.
These are great.
Yeah.
Look at. I can't believe this one.
And the color is beautiful.
Still February 4th.
The color is beautiful.
Bill, this tree was planted, wasn't it a wild tree, right?
I always thought it was in there. This is the barnyard, so I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe for shade, maybe for
That's it. Betty McKenzie cow barn. You know that story, Bill? You know that when we first built Close Enough, we used we tore down a cow barn right here. The cow barn
or the stable?
The cow.
It was a long cow barn. There was a heifer barn.
When Betty McKenzie lived here?
McKenzie. Wasn't the story you came and asked her about and she said no?
No, that was the bigger barn. That was the bigger barn.
The stable beyond it.
Yeah, there was a big barn and then there was a long milking shed, I thought it was.
The milking shed was right here.
That's
but
what
did
we
she end up calling it like a
we tore that down and used it for building Close Enough.
Yeah.
But no, the other story, so we'd already built Close Enough. But we wanted her barn because it's already to fall down. She said, no, I gotta let it fall down because it's gonna,
and then fell down
it's gonna,
2 days later.
2 days later, I was driving down the field Close Enough and something caught my eye. And I looked there and it was twisting, it twisted around and went dust.
Wow.
Isn't it? It was all done. Yeah.
Bill, does that apple tree always have apples late?
Yes, and it often holds them well into the winter.
I mean, it's great.
And they drop through the winter.
Do you know what they are? No.
Perfect.
That's good. Hill.
Really good.
Doesn't hurt to have it all mowed underneath either, does it? Yeah.
You got a shock.
These are laying on grass versus mud, right?
Well, that's true.
But one there in the dirt.
Everyone I picked up was mud.
That's a Liberty, and then the other tree, I don't know if you got over there by the spruces, is also a Liberty. And they were really different this year.
This
tree,
first one was really
red,
nice.
dense,
Yes.
and red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very,
And
very
flavorful for the first time, really.
Really.
And then the far one were big and not very red.
They, on the ground, they weren't as good. We were just picking them up. Great. And the first, that's really nice. Very nice.
Put this on because it's going to be a cold drive.
Sage, sit on the apples.
Get a road trip.
Just focus there,
Hey, there he is.
Hey, Dave.
Focus in on that guy right there.
How are you?
He's a man. Did you interview him?
Not yet, but I will. I'll get him.
All right, good. He's the man. He's the man. He knows that. He knows that.
There wasn't exactly a place to shoot at.
Yeah.
It's like those two for eating.
Get your mouth over.
We had another light over here.
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah, you gotta put it on the table, it'd be great.
Nort, did you stop him?
No, I didn't get there in time. I didn't get there in time. They'd already done the dirty work.
How many apples do you bring up?
I brought 6 pails, 7 pails.
You're only supposed to get 10 bags long.
Huh?
You're only supposed to get 10 bags.
I think we did. I think that's what we got.
Oh, wow, you know how to do it.
Are you gonna light that?
Well, people are thirsty. That's all I can say.
How are you, Dad?
Yeah,
Oh, Snorton!
we gotta take the apples, don't take the
Okay,
tails.
that's good. We can do that. Not a bad trade-off.
You totally did.
Can we dump them in here?
Good, I guess.
I fall over and throw up.
Don't do that.
Take your time.
How many people are upstairs? I am going to do it as you have.
Oh, you got that last watch?
Yeah.
I want to start the.
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
I'm gonna come through in the bike. Hold on.
Okay, I'm going to have
I'm gonna put it out of the way.
I'm gonna do half one and
Take turns.
It's Parker's thing.
Shaggy name.
Yeah, they're just, they're here.
I think the reason is,
What?
the reason is they're hard to get off.
They're hard to get off without
Well, I have one here that peels off.
without any stuff on it. Yeah. I don't know. Or Fred is the one who had it made, and that's the thing off.
I think so, give a little lecture for a minute that people have never been here before. Quite a few of them, right?
Yeah, quite a few people.
All right, welcome to the last press, and this is, a lot of you people are just bored with this lecture, but I'm going to give it for the benefit of the people who've never heard it before. Yeah, and see, instead of explaining to you how the press works, I have my own special explanation of how it works, all right? And this story is about the first cider press ever. And I got to change it up a little bit. Let me say, I was reading about Homo habilis. And Homo habilis, there was a guy who was a lot like me, who was allergic to apples, but he loved apple cider. So Homo habilis, this is what he did. Where was it, Stan? Where's the first apples?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan was the first. It was in Kazakhstan, right? And so that's where apples originated, yeah. But All right, so what Homo habilis did was he took a bite of the apple. No. They get a tongue, press it top of the mouth. And got all the juice to run down the throat. And they spit out what was left. I am actually allergic to apples.
Yeah, right.
I can eat the juice. Anyway, so in here, this is upstairs, and you see the grinder up there. That's the equivalent of Homo habilis' teeth grinding up the apples. And they get ground here, split on ground here. They go into here, and this is like the mouth. This is the hopper where the apple muck sits. And then when it comes down onto here, and sits here, and we load up these stack. You'll see it when it goes, exactly how it works. But you stack up the apple cheeses, they call them, and you slide them underneath here. And this is the tongue. This here is a 20-ton press, and it presses the juice out and goes down the throat, which is here. And then we pump it upstairs, and that provides pressure for us to bottle it right here. And you'll get a hang of it when we get going on it. But like I say, everybody's encouraged to watch the old hands do it, the people who know how to do it, and then step in and take over their job. They're good. Some of the key jobs is the guys that are pressmen. There's 2 or 3 people here who put around the muck. The kids are always upstairs, and there should be a babysitter up there. They're putting in all the apples in the grinding wheel. And there's a bottling crew, which Reeve is kind of the captain of, and he organizes all the bottling here.
And he's very meticulous, so watch.
Yeah, labeling. All right, so we gotta get the bell system. That's like the bell system. That's always hard. That's in the rules, yeah. We try not to talk up and downstairs. We communicate with the bell system, and one bell means one bell means start loading the apples, or if in the middle of a press, it means hurry up. What the hell's taking you so long? Get some more apples in there. 2 means slow down. We're getting to the end of the press, so slow it down a little bit. And 3 means don't put any more. That sounded like 2.
Oh, it's 3.
All right, 3. Yeah. That means stop. We don't need any more apples now. And then if you get a 3, and then somebody gives it a 1 again, it means forget it. Start loading them in again. All right, so let's get going. Oh, we got
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
How long have you had this press?
42 years. We built it 42 years ago. Wow. And Buffalo and Nort, myself and Becco, we were the ones that actually built the press originally.
Wow.
Oh, I gotta get a picture of you guys for your mom.
Is there an adult upstairs?
Yes.
I'll take pictures of you guys when you work.
Have you ready?
3 shells.
Yes.
The bread ambassador.
I didn't make it up.
Very good things in that. This company, they consult very careful with them telling you.
You should be all set. Clear?
Clear up there?
Yeah.
Emailed the guy and I said, I have a lot of trouble getting stuff together.
How
We should probably reduce this one too. We should use the current reduction first.
What's going on, Cabot?
I know, I love that one. It's very. How many gallons you want?
I don't know, maybe 8 or something. 8? Yeah. But, that was pretty cool. You know, I made one years ago where you had and I copied somebody else. It wasn't original. Where you have the eyeball, it's not a lip, but the eyeballs are onions, you know, they have the root part of the onion there, so they really look like eyeballs. I had, what is it, I had something for years, I can't remember what, orange or something like that. And then, I can't remember, I had teeth or something like that, but it's all visuals kind of plugged into the pumpkin.
We have that good puking pumpkin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Effervescence, yeah.
I had to take mine on the lawn and open them all up.
It's very light.
Like not water.
Yeah.
I got more home.
Yeah?
I got the
We had a crew,
Yeah, when they start putting it in the bottles, okay?
they're hard to come off, some of them are.
Fred, when did you discover the cookies? Oh, really?
Because I took it back. Put it over the porch.
Well, what's the nice juicy apples and almond It's perfect.
We tried to put the garlic to a sick.
I think it will be like be there.
Yeah, but Bill and
Well, how can I tell you what you're talking about?
I had everybody.
Don't do that. I'll blow my whistle. I'll blow whistle once.
Start. Yep, and again.
Yeah.
Just